So I have this idea here and I have a very rough sketch, but as far as the idea goes, there's a character sitting at the back of a bus next to a window. I mean, yeah, that's all there is to it. I just gotta, color everything and not mess it up. Now, originally I was planning on drawing this in a 16 by 9 aspect ratio, but I think it will, I don't know, I think a portrait kind of composition might look better. But I mean, if I go portrait, then the focus is on the character and the background is just, around the character. But if I go 16 by 9, the focus is on both the character and the background. So, I don't know. I think I'll just draw everything and then like frame it both in 16 by 9 and portrait, and I'll see like which one just looks better. So I gotta like draw a proper sketch. So now I have a bit of a better sketch drawn out, but I'm wondering if I should put the character next to the window or just in the middle, because if I put the character next to the window, there will be seats in front of the character, so like you won't be able to see the hands or the feet, or it will just be like the face, not a bit of the upper body. That's it. But if I put the character in the middle, there won't be any seats, so you will be able to see the full character. So, I mean, I think it would look better, but I don't know, like, because if the character's in the middle, I can't do the fancy lighting. But if I don't know, like I don't really like fancy lighting, anyways. But I want to try it out. But yeah, I have to figure this out now because if I don't, well, the perspective is going to be different because, if the character is here, the vanishing point is on the right. If the character is in the middle, the vanishing point will also be in the middle. So, I don't know. I actually don't. I think, well, I'll just draw like the seats and see how it looks. So I fixed up the sketches a bit, and I got like the framing done for both. And so for the one where the character's next to the window, if I go here, turn this off, if I go portrait, I think I'll go with this kind of framing. But if I go 16 by 9, then yeah, I think I'll go with this. And for the one where the character's in the middle, 4 by 3, I think this is what I'm gonna go with. And 16 by 9. So originally I planned on this kind of composition, 16 by 9, and character next to the window. I think, I don't know, like for the character in the middle, like the facial expression and everything, I'll have to change those because, yeah. I mean, for this one, you can see the entire character, so that's nice. But here, like, you only see the top half, but it's more zoomed in. So I cropped in on the frames, and I think I'll go with portrait by the window. I mean, like, this one just looks awkward. This one too, a little bit. And the 16 by 9 is I mean, I think I would look alright, but I want the focus to be on the character, so I'm gonna go with portrait and the character next to the window. So I'm trying to draw this hair, but it looks a bit awkward, but I'm not sure like why it looks a bit awkward. But it's 3:30 in the morning, and I have to wake up at 8:30 in the morning today. So I'm gonna worry about this today, but like later, because I gotta sleep. So I drew the sketch for the character. I just gotta clean everything up, but I still think the hair looks a bit weird. I tried fixing it with the liquify tool, but I don't know, it just still looks a bit awkward. But I think it looks okay, but just a bit awkward, so Yeah. I'll try messing with the liquify a bit, and if it doesn't look better, I'll just use this. I cleaned up the sketch and I also fixed the hair a bit, I think. It looks okay now, so I'm gonna draw the line art. So I drew the line art for the character and it looks much cleaner now compared to the sketch. If I turn on the background, it looks like this. Now I just gotta color everything and, you know, not mess it up. You know, I am exceptionally bad at coloring, so I have the base colors down. Now, if I color everything like and not mess it up and have it look nice, I think it will look very nice. I mean, it has the potential to look very nice. I just, gotta not mess everything up, which is the problem. Because I'm kind of bad at coloring, so I'll try to color it properly. Hopefully, I don't mess it up too much. Like if I color it nicely, it will look very nice, and I want to color it nicely. So yeah, I drew the sky and the ocean. Now the ocean looks a bit off, but I'm not quite sure why. So I guess, well, I'll draw the rest because, like, if I just keep fixing it forever, it's gonna take forever. So, I mean, hopefully, I saw like some pictures. I googled some pictures of the ocean. I'll try to figure out why, this just looks very, very lacking. Yeah, it does need a fix. So I added some highlights to the water. I think it does look much better than before, although it still looks, lacking. Maybe I need to put more of a gradient. It looks like there's not much of a gradient. Maybe that's why it looks, a bit awkward. But yeah, I think it does look much better than before, which is nice. Which is, yeah, very nice. I finished drawing the background. Now it's quite lacking, but I'll draw everything else and see how it looks. I mean, look at the buildings. Like, those are like, yeah, very lacking. But for this kind of composition and color scheme, I think simple buildings actually fit in quite nicely. Now, if I turn off like these, I mean that's just the background, and there's the character. Actually, if I just remove these two, like, I think that looks quite nice, without the background. Maybe just the character. Well, that looks nice, but yeah. If I color the background properly, it should look nice, right? But I think maybe it's because of the color scheme, and just having the white background. Yeah, I think that would look quite nice once I finish drawing the character. But I drew the background, so I'm gonna finish drawing the background and if I color everything nicely, and maybe fix the background a bit because it's a bit lacking. Yeah, I think it will turn out looking fine. So I'm thinking of what kind of lighting I should draw, and like I said, I don't, I'm not a fan of fancy lighting, so I like this kind of lighting, but for, this scene, I think this kind of lighting also looks nice, and yeah, I think for this one, I mean this also looks nice, and honestly, this is the type of lighting I prefer. But this like this also seems fine, and because of the composition, this kind of lighting makes the character look like the character is like actually in the like three-dimensional space in the scene. So I think I will go with this lighting, but honestly, yeah, I really like this kind of. They both look fine, so like I always draw like this kind of lighting, so this time I'll go for this. So I drew the interior of the bus. Now, like for the interior itself, like the frame, I think it looks fine and everything. But these chairs need a fix. Like they just look so bad. The background, it's okay. I mean, it could be much better, but it's okay. The interior, like the frame and the windows, I think they look fine, honestly. But these chairs, like, they actually need a fix now. I'm not quite sure why they look so bad. I mean, it's obviously values and color, but yeah, I'll try some stuff and but like if I just make the chairs like look nice, like it's gonna look so much better because like the frame and the windows they look fine. Background it's okay. Like these chairs they just look bad. So yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to fix the chairs, make them look okay. And I mean if the chairs just look as nice as the, frame and the windows, it would look so much better. I added some more color to the chairs. Now I think it might be a bit too saturated, but in video, like on the video, it looks much more saturated compared to like, the screen. But even still, I think it may be a bit too saturated. Now, as for the shading, I blurred the, a border between, light and shadow, and it actually looks so much better. So if I undo the blur, it looks like this. I mean, it looks okay, but if I redo the blur, it just looks so much better. I guess maybe because it matches with, the blur here, but yeah, it does look much better. But the chairs still, look kind of crappy. They need a fix. Now I finished drawing everything, and I say I finished, but I mean like I wish it looked a bit better, like not a lot better, because skill issue. The background really needs fixing. The character seems fine. The character looks fine, although the character still, also could, look better, more detailed. But as far as the character goes, like I think the character looks fine. Also the the inside of the bus looks fine. The chairs, yeah, the chairs they don't look that great. But the background is what really needs a fix. The sky, I guess it's okay, but the water, it doesn't look like water. It looks awkward. But I mean, like if I just keep fixing the same, like I spent like much more time than I should have drawing this, and if I keep fixing everything, it's gonna take forever. So I'll do better on the next one. But I mean, I'll still touch up some stuff. But yeah. So if I turn off all the layers, color layers for the character, it looks like this. Turn off the bus layer. There's the background. I have everything in a folder here. And if you expand the folders, I draw with a lot of layers. I don't know, like as I draw, I just make layers, and then it ends up becoming like this. But yeah, I got a bunch of layers. But actually, the thing is, if I just leave the character layer on and turn everything off, I think this looks like better, which shouldn't be the case, like I spent a lot of time drawing that background and everything, so I mean, honestly, in a way I think this does look much better, which shouldn't be the case, but I mean, it's a good thing, it looks nice, but I mean, it should look nicer with the background, right? But actually, I kind of prefer this more, which is, yeah. I still have to fix up the background. So I tried blurring the background, And with the blur applied, it looks like this. Now this does, make the character more visible, which is nice, but like honestly, personally, I'm not a big fan of blur. And, I don't know, if the background was drawn nicely, I guess this would look fine, but in this case, I think the blur actually does look a bit better. But the problem is, if I blur the background, I also have to blur the foreground, or it wouldn't, it would look awkward. So if I blur the foreground, the problem is, I drew the character like only up until the chair. So if I go and make the chair layer invisible, like there's no more character. Like if you see the seats behind, there's like some like buffer, but as far as the character goes, there's no more character. So if I blur the chair, it creates this like not so nice looking artifact. Now the solution would be to go and draw some more of the character, but like I actually don't like blur. I don't think it looks nice. I just don't like blur. But if I go like this, it just, I don't know, it looks a bit awkward. I guess because the background is drawn crappily, but blur does look nicer. So I guess, I don't have to blur. No, I should. So I guess I should draw more of the character, blur the chair as well and have everything look coherent. Also, I think the sky and the background is just too dark. It should be, overexposed because the character is very bright. And well, light is shining in, so I guess the background doesn't have to be too bright, but it just looks a bit too dark. Drawing more of the character was, actually quite simple because I drew everything clipped onto the base layer, so I just had to draw more of the base layer, and because the way you draw, you draw like beyond, the visible area, so I was able to easily, lengthen the character a bit, yeah, which is nice. I don't have to, I was planning to, make a new layer on top of everything and draw over, but yeah, I just had to draw more of the base layer, and yeah, simple fix. So I blurred everything, and the line art is not blurred. Like, well, it's hard to see if I go and zoom in. You can see that the line art isn't blurred, but yeah, I don't think it really, it's not visible, so it's okay. Unless you really look for it, but yeah, it should be fine. Now the background still, I did mess around with the tone curve a bit, so I made it a bit more saturated and brighter, but I don't know, I think it's still not bright enough, but if I just, make it brighter, it just looks washed out, so I need, more contrast and saturation, but if I put in more contrast and saturation, it looks messed up, so what do I do? I don't know, I guess, I messed up the values to begin with. But as far as everything goes, yeah, the background still needs a fix. Even after blurring everything out, does look, does make the character stand out, so that's nice, but it's still a bit, wait, did I disable? Yeah, I turned off the original. If I unblur the background, in a way I think the unblurred looks better. And like I said, I'm not a big fan of blur, but this also looks nice. So I think I'll go with this because the background is, kinda, not drawn well. Here is the, actually, I think the more saturated one, does it look better? I don't know. It just looks more washed out. It's way too saturated. Yeah, I guess I don't know, this just looks a bit, you know, undersaturated. I'll just go with the saturated one. And well, yeah. I mean, if I keep fixing it forever, it's gonna take forever, so I'll, you know, call this, I'll just, finish this illustration now, and, like, even now, if I turn off everything, I don't know why, but, in a way, I think this looks better than, with the background, which is, I mean, yeah, there is something wrong. I'm not quite sure what it is. I mean, it looks, I mean, it's okay, is it not? You know, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Next time I'll do better, that's for sure. So I have this reflection layer here. Wait, let me toggle it on and off so you can see. The edges are blurred, I think that's why. You know, everything looks hazy, so I will, you know, fix the soft edges, make them hard edges, and yeah, that will be it for this illustration.